Job's incredible journey. Discover the miraculous faith that transforms through divine trials. In the land of Uz, where the sun beat down upon golden fields and the laughter of children graced the air, dwelled a man named Job. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim's reign, Job stood as a beacon of virtue and prosperity, known to all as blameless and upright. His wealth was vast, filled with sheep and camels, and his heart overflowed with love for his 10 children who feasted together in their father's home, a sanctuary of joy. Yet in the heavens, an assembly gathered, and in their midst stood the accuser, known as Satan. With cunning and craft, he approached the Lord, questioning the sincerity of Job's devotion. "Does Job fear God for no reason?" he hissed. "Take away his blessings, and surely he will curse you." God, with an unwavering resolve, permitted this challenge, declaring, "Behold, all that he has is in your hand, only against him do not stretch out your hand." Hardly realizing the tempest about to descend, Job continued his daily life, unaware of the spiritual battleground above him. The winds of calamity began to swirl violently around his estate. In swift succession, marauders stole his oxen and donkeys, lightning struck his sheep, and a fierce wind collapsed the house where his children dined, silencing their laughter with heart-wrenching loss. In the face of this overwhelming grief, Job displayed a spirit fierce with faith. Tearing his robe, he fell to his knees raw, exposed, and vulnerable. "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away, blessed be the name of the Lord." His heart clung to reverence amidst chaos, showcasing a faith that transcended mere fortune. As the sun rose and set, friends Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar journeyed from afar to mourn with him. They sat in silence for 7 days, enveloped in a fog of despair. However, when words finally flowed from their lips, they bore judgment rather than comfort. "Who that was innocent ever perished?" Eliphaz proclaimed, piercing Job's soul with heavy accusations about hidden sins. Job's spirit trembled as despair wrestled against his integrity. "Show me my transgression and my sin," he pleaded with the heavens, wrestling with the profound mystery of suffering. Stricken by his friends' harsh words, Job longed for a divine audience, aching for justice and understanding amid the silence of God. "Where is God, my Maker, who gives songs in the night?" he cried, hope flickering like a candle in the tempest. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select All Notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. Days morphed into weeks, and Job's heart grappled with the chasm separating his anguish from the Almighty's response. Just as he felt the weight of utter hopelessness, the atmosphere shifted. The earth began to tremble, and a whirlwind spiraled into existence, heralding the voice of God. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding," reverberated through the winds, echoing Job's insignificance against the vastness of creation. In this moment of divine confrontation, Job stood before the unfathomable majesty of God who governs the cosmos yet cares for the brokenhearted. He was left wrestling with the profound mystery of existence, a narrative not only of suffering but of a God who invites faith to flourish amidst trials. How would Job respond to this revelation? The answer loomed like a shadow, a tantalizing, divine mystery yet to unfold. Then Job answered the Lord, his heart filled with a mix of reverence and trembling. "I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. Therefore, I despise myself, and I repent in dust and ashes." In the weight of divine wisdom, Job recognized the limits of his understanding, and he placed himself in the dust before the Almighty, longing for mercy and clarity. Upon hearing Job's humble confession, the Lord spoke again from the whirlwind. Gird up your loins like a man, I will question you, and you make it known to me. Will you even put me in the wrong? Will you condemn me that you may be justified? The voice of God thundered, resonating not just in the severity of his challenge but in the depths of his call for restoration and relationship. God's inquiries were aimed at illuminating Job's heart and revealing the grand tapestry of his plan woven through the fabric of human existence. The Lord continued, presenting Job with wonders of creation. Where is the way to the dwelling of light, and where is the place of darkness, that you may take it to its territory and that you may discern the paths to its home? Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or have you seen the storehouses of the hail, which I have reserved for the time of trouble, for the day of battle and war? Each question illuminated the vastness of God's creation and the divine management of the universe, a stark reminder that human suffering does not escape the watchful eye of the Creator. As each question unraveled, Job felt the magnitude of his own frailty. The intricacies of the animal kingdom were laid bare before him. God spoke of the mighty behemoth and the fierce leviathan, creatures too profound for man's understanding, illustrating that his design exceeds the grasp of mortal comprehension. With each revelation, Job's heart pressed against the divine will, realizing the beauty of faith that aligns with God's greater purpose. In the shadow of God's glory, Job fell silent, awash in humility. His desire for understanding metamorphosed into awe, an understanding that the depths of suffering could be part of a mosaic greater than mere human sight could fathom. Who could question the one who forms the cosmos and guides the stars in the night? As the whirlwind subsided, God's countenance shone with compassion. My servant Job will pray for you, for I will accept his prayer. I may not choose to spare you, but I will pour out grace upon him to intercede for you. The essence of redemption threaded through the words, pointing to how suffering could forge healing and connection between hearts once divided. Job's anguish had become a conduit for grace, a testament that through trials, there resided an opportunity for deeper relationship with the divine. Suddenly, the purpose of pain became clearer, a divine mystery forged in suffering, capable of transforming the survivors into mediators of God's mercy. Yet, as the heavens declared his glory, a new stirring echoed in Job's spirit. He felt the dawn of restoration weave through his heart. What would this restoration look like? How could his story of anguish transform into a narrative of hope? As Job waited in stillness, his heart anticipated the unfolding of God's sovereign plan, one yet unknown, revealing the deeper purpose for which he had endured. Then the Lord spoke again to Job, declaring the depth of his wisdom with awe-inspiring authority. Shall a fault-finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. Job, overwhelmed by the gravity of such a call, felt the weight of the divine presence pressing heavily upon his heart. Amidst the tempestuous winds, Job's voice trembled as he responded, Behold, I am of small account, what shall I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer, twice, but I will proceed no further. In that moment, silence enveloped him, a silence that resonated with deep understanding and submission. Yet the Lord, in his wisdom, continued to expound the mysteries of his creation, saying, You have seen the great wonders of my hands, yet you still do not comprehend the breadth of my intentions. Do you know when I assign tasks to the clouds or when I guide the planets in their orbits? Have you commanded the morning since your days began, and caused the dawn to know its place? As the Almighty spoke, Job's heart was filled with a growing recognition of his own limitations, a profound epiphany of the vastness of the Creator's purpose. Can you lift up your voice to the clouds, that a flood of waters may cover you? Can you send forth lightning, that they may go and say to you, Here we are? Each celestial revelation pierced through Job's soul, reinforcing the reality that nothing, not even the most intimate of human despair, escaped the keen gaze of the Almighty. Look at the beasts of the earth, spoke the Lord. They know their place, for I provide for everything I have created. The wild donkey laughs at the tumult, the ostrich wings with joy in the open air. These creatures trust my provision without question. Job listened intently, his grief intermingling with awe. In the depths of his heart, a flicker of understanding ignited, his trust must now mirror that of the creatures, surrendered yet hopeful. Will you discredit my justice? Will you condemn me that you may be justified? The Lord's voice thundered with a righteous challenge. Job's spirit swelled with a newfound affirmation that within suffering lay a profound mystery that served to refine the unrighteous and illuminate prophetic truths. With a humble heart, Job spoke once more, I know that you can do all things, no purpose of yours can be thwarted. I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. His repentance clung to his words, yet his heart surged with the dawning of renewal. In that moment, the Lord unveiled further revelations to Job, and he realized that his trials were not merely for his own sake but echoed into eternity, whispering into the hearts of generations yet to come. It is through your suffering, Job, God declared, that many will learn steadfastness. Through your trials, a multitude will grasp the meaning of mercy and grace. As Job pondered these things, a profound hope sprang forth within him. He sensed that his every tear held significance within the masterful narrative woven by God's sovereign hand. Yet amidst such illuminating truths, a lingering question held fast in Job's heart. What exact purpose lay ahead? With every revelation, his intrigue deepened, for although clarity flowed like a river, there remained an unfathomable depth to God's will. Wait and see, for the manifestation of my glory is upon you, but greater are the blessings I will unfold when the appointed time comes. The hour of restoration is nearing, the Lord spoke, leaving Job entranced by a holy suspense, yearning to uncover the fullness of God's magnificent sovereign plan that awaited him. Then the Lord continued, prepare yourself like a man, I will question you, and you shall answer me. Job's heart quaked at the divine summons, yet he sensed a sacred opportunity to witness the unfolding of God's grand narrative. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me, if you have understanding. Who determined its measurements? Surely you know. Or who stretched the line upon it? On what were its bases sunk, or who laid its cornerstone, when the morning stars sang together and all the heavenly beings shouted for joy? In the realm of the eternal, Job felt small, yet he comprehended a truth so profound that it seemed to envelop him. The joy of creation gushed forth from the depths of the Almighty's wisdom. The voice of the Lord poured out questions that penetrated his heart, revealing the divine interplay of creation and purpose. Have you commanded the sea, Job, that it may come as far as you would bid it? Have you ever caused the dawn to seize the earth and shake the wicked out of it? Each inquiry bore weight, and Job understood that the sovereignty of the Lord stretched beyond his immediate suffering into the very fabric of reality. I am unworthy, what can I say in light of your majesty? Job murmured, feeling the weight of his afflictions contrasted against the power of the Creator. His previous thoughts of disdain ebbed away, replaced by a reverence that ushered him into the depths of holy contemplation. The Lord, seeing the earnestness of Job's heart, continued with grace. Is it by your wisdom that the hawk soars, spreading its wings toward the south? Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes its nest on high? Job's spirit soared as he considered the magnificence of God's designs woven intricately through nature. Each creature spoke of a providence that affirmed his faith. In the face of the mountains and oceans, in the wildest tempest and the gentle breeze, I am there, the Lord declared, pouring forth awe and tranquility alike. There is a plan that I orchestrate, a purpose that moves, even now, unbeknownst to you. Job listened intently, his heart ignited with longing. God was revealing not merely his power, but the essence of relationship, the intertwining of hope and despair, and the testimonies of faith forged in fire. With a gentle yet powerful tone, the Lord added, You have questioned my ways, but can your voice stand against my mighty acts? Can you know the depths I descend into for the sake of love? I bring trials not as punishment, but as preparation so that through tribulation, you may discover the strength of your faith, and lead others to know my ways. In this moment of reverence, Job felt the gravity of divine truth fill his being. His sufferings became a page in the narrative of faith, a chapter that would resonate in the hearts of many to bring forth hope. Indeed, the hour of restoration is at hand, declared God, shaping Job's path not only for his own redemption but to illuminate the way for those who would follow. For I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, and you shall speak of my steadfast love. Job was enveloped in awe, his heart echoing with the promise that transcended his pain. Hope was beginning to unfurl its wings within him. And as the Lord's final words resonated through the celestial realms, a gentle breeze stirred, as if nature itself responded to the revelation. Hold fast, for there is a testimony lying dormant within your trials, a sacred truth awaiting birth through your endurance, your faith woven into the tapestry of my divine plan. With this unveiling, Job realized that the journey through suffering was not the end, but the beginning of something exquisitely glorious, a new understanding of God's profound and loving nature. Yet, as he stood on the precipice of divine revelation, a question threaded through the air like a whisper: what greater wonders lay ahead in the pages of his story, yet to unfold? Then the Lord spoke once more, his voice resonating with divine authority: shall a fault-finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. The weight of this conviction pressed upon Job like an anchor, and he felt the profound magnitude of his inadequacies in juxtaposition to divine wisdom. Behold, I am of small account, what shall I answer you? I lay my hand on my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer, twice, but I will proceed no further. In this humble acknowledgment, the air shimmered with a deep silence, a stillness rich with the presence of God. The Lord broke this silence: you have seen the works of my hands, Job, yet hear now of my wonders. Can you understand the mysteries of creation? Can you fathom the intricacies of life that reveal my marvels? Job listened, his heart a vessel trembling with anticipation, for he yearned to delve deeper into this heavenly dialogue. In that sacred moment, the Lord described the majestic behemoths of the earth, and the swift creatures dwelling in the depths of the sea. Who can capture Leviathan with a hook, or pierce its jaw with a spear? Who can stand before its fierce might? Yet I reign over it, and even Leviathan knows my command. His spirit stirred as the grandeur of God's creation enveloped his thoughts. The very essence of his sovereignty became clearer through each image spoken, a divine narrative unfurling like the tapestry of existence itself. The intricacies of nature, unfathomable to mankind, unfolded under the light of God's brilliance. Surely you know, the Lord continued, that the clouds are my garments, and the thunder my voice. I have set the boundaries for the sea, commanding it thus: you shall come no farther, and here shall your proud waves be stayed. Job was enveloped in awe as the cosmic dance of nature played before his mind's eye. He felt the weight of each word settling within him, filling the void that his previous lamentations had carved. Here was not mere inquiry, but an invitation, an unveiling of God's heart, his intention to reveal the fullness of his glory. Job, the Lord said softly yet powerfully, do you still doubt my purpose? Each trial you have faced, every anguish endured, is written in the chronicles of my love. They bring forth the diamond of faith, perfected through suffering. For you shall rise from the ashes, and your story will illuminate the path for many. With this promise, Job's heart leaped within him, a flicker of hope ignited anew. He contemplated the grander scheme, the redemptive power of trials, not solely for his own benefit, but as a testament to God's unyielding love. The divine plan lay beyond the veil of his understanding, yet he felt an approaching dawn illuminating his darkened thoughts. Job's spirit was thus encouraged, knowing that the tapestry of his afflictions was but a thread in the magnificent design of God's saving grace. I knew that my Redeemer lives, he declared inwardly, the phrase echoing within the sunlit chambers of his soul. And then the Lord's voice thundered with grace: your existence, Job, is intricately woven into the fabric of eternity. Keep watch, for from your suffering will arise a testament of faith, one that bears witness to the deafening silence of hope in despair. For the culmination of my promises is nearer than you think. As the wind whispered secrets of divine purpose among the trees, Job found himself at the brink of revelation. He stood not merely as a man of sorrow but as the embodiment of faith that would transcend time. Yet the promise lingered in the air like a sweet fragrance, yielding the question: what further wonders lay buried in the depths of God's sovereign plan? waiting to erupt from his trials into a legacy of faith, strength, and hope. Then the Lord continued, "Consider my creation and its majesty. Can you command the dawn to break, or guide the stars in their courses? I am he who lightens the path of the morning, and I have numbered the days of every living soul upon the earth. Job, can you fathom this vastness?" With a humble heart, Job gazed into the heavens, his understanding deepening like the shadows at dusk. "Surely, O Lord, I am but dust, incomprehensible are your ways and mighty are your deeds. Who am I that you should pay attention to a mere worm?" He uttered, realizing his fragile existence in the thread of time. Yet, the Lord's response resonated like thunder over mountains. "Do you not see, Job, that even in your frailty, my strength is perfected? The world may deem you insignificant, but in my eyes, your pain has purpose. Each drop of sorrow is a costly tear in the treasury of heaven, and I weave them into my tapestry." As the Lord spoke, something greater than Job's suffering began to stir within him. He grasped the reality of God's infinite wisdom, and how the wounds of affliction could serve a greater glory. "Your path, though shrouded in darkness, is illuminated by my promises," the Lord proclaimed. "From your very trials shall come forth the acorns of faith that shall grow into oaks, sheltering the weary and vulnerable." Suddenly, the scene shifted, as if the very earth had opened to reveal a vision. Job saw multitudes gathering, those beaten by hardship, their eyes full of despair. They cried out in unison, "O God, where is our hope?" His heart quickened, for within that gathering, he perceived his own reflection, molded by trials. They needed a flicker of light to guide them. "See, Job," said the Lord, "your story shall be a beacon. You have endured, and in that endurance, many shall find strength. For I have chosen you, not only for your own sake, but for those who come after you." Healing flooded Job's heart as the weight of his suffering transformed into an emblem of hope for others. "Lord, if that is your plan," he replied earnestly, "then let it be so. Yet I beseech you, reveal unto me the depth of your intentions." The Almighty's voice softened and resonated like the gentle waves upon the shore. "In time, Job, you will see how your suffering will resonate through the ages. You are a fisherman, sent to cast nets in turbulent waters, and I shall fill them with abundance. Be patient, for my ways are revealed through seasons, and the harvest comes after the planting." Awash with emotion, Job bowed low, as tears of gratitude welled in his eyes. He felt transformed, renewed in spirit, as the weight of divine purpose washed over him. The revelation stirred the very depths of his being. A testament of faith was rising from the ashes, preparing to speak across generations. "Behold, I affirm this truth in your heart," the Lord said with solemn reverence. "A day shall come when all shall stand in awe of my handiwork, and through your existence shall they proclaim the faithfulness of their Redeemer. For in your trials, my greatness shall be glorified." The air thrummed with expectancy, and as Job looked forth, he felt the soft breeze of a new dawn touching his face. He understood now, though the journey was far from over, that a tapestry of hope was being woven from his experiences, a hope that would never be extinguished. "Yet, Job, watch closely," the Lord spoke with urgency, "for what seems lost is often what seems most beautiful in my sight. Even in this divine exchange, there remains a mystery yet unsolved in my sovereign plan. Hidden deep within these moments is a revelation that will transcend your understanding and ignite the faith of nations. Prepare yourself for the unveiling, for the journey is not finished, and the story is still being written in the annals of eternity." Then the Lord spoke again, his voice resonating like a clarion call in the stillness that enveloped Job. "Listen closely, O Job, and let my words sink deep into your heart. Sing praises to the one who orchestrates the cosmos. I am the Alpha and the Omega. Do you not perceive that even now I am at work, bending seasons to my will and bending the hearts of men to seek me?" As Job's heart swelled with the weight of this revelation, he felt an unfamiliar stirring within him, a flicker of faith igniting like the first light of dawn breaking over the hills. So, he lifted his voice, "O Lord, reveal unto me the purpose for which you have allowed this shadow to fall upon my life. In my plight, teach me, for I am but a vessel yearning to be filled. Your cries are precious in my sight, the Lord replied gently, for they echo in the halls of heaven. Recall the tale of Joseph, my servant, who was cast into the depths of despair yet rose to the heights of reward. He too was brought low, but I turned his mourning into rejoicing, and through the tribulations, I shaped a leader who would save many lives. The vision shifted, and Job was transported to a land of grain and harvest, where he saw Joseph standing tall, wisdom etched into his countenance, administering life to a people saved from famine. The faces of the hungry were now filled with gratitude, a testimony of faith resulting from suffering endured. Do you see, Job? The Lord continued, his words saturating Job's soul with understanding. Your hardship is not in vain. Like Joseph, you shall one day stand as a beacon of hope, your journey a foundation upon which others shall stand firm. For I am weaving a greater story than you can imagine. Job's spirit soared with the light of new truth, but he was still weighed down by questions. But Lord, how can my pains serve others? What comes after this burden of loss? Behold, my servant, the Lord proclaimed, for I ask you to consider the Son of Man, who came not to be served but to serve. In the garden, he faced sorrow, beyond what any heart could bear. Yet through his suffering, redemption was born, and through his wounds, many shall be healed. With trembling lips, Job responded, I see now, O Lord. In your divine plan, my trials may be but a shadow cast by the greater light of your will. Teach me, I pray, to endure as they did, to trust as they trusted. And so, it shall be, the Lord affirmed, for I have ignited a fire within you, Job. You shall bear witness to my glory reflected through your endurance. My hand is upon you, molding you into a vessel prepared for noble purposes. Hold fast, for soon you shall gain wisdom beyond understanding, a confidence that will guide the weary in their darkest nights. Job felt the warmth of God's promise enveloping him like a mantle. He closed his eyes, surrendering fully to the sovereign will of the one who orchestrates all things with divine precision. In that moment, he was no longer weighed down by his afflictions but lifted by a vision of hope, a purpose beyond himself. Throughout the ages, generations would arise from the testimony of his faithfulness, and in the echo of their stories, the world would see his glory. Yet, Job, remain vigilant, the Lord cautioned, for there is a mystery that remains, woven into the fabric of your life. The power of your tale shall transcend time, revealing truths that will stir hearts and awaken nations. Prepare, for the winds of change are approaching, and I will unveil the depths of my plans when the time is right. And in this sacred moment of divine revelation, darkness swirled around Job as he found himself once again in the midst of his ashes. Yet, the weight of despair was no longer his only companion, the warmth of God's words lingered, stirring hope within him. He looked up toward the heavens, his heart clinging to that flicker of faith ignited by the Almighty. Lord, I am but a creature of dust, Job declared, his voice trembling with a mixture of fear and reverence. How shall I bear the burdens of others when my own heart is heavy with sorrow? Fear not, Job, the Lord replied, his voice cascading like a gentle rain. For I have not left you unarmed in your struggle. In the depths of your affliction, my grace shall be sufficient for you, and my power made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. You are not alone in your trials, I walk with you, and through you, I shall reveal my splendor. Job pondered these grand assurances, his thoughts spiraling to those whom he had once comforted. I cherished the broken-hearted and spoke the words of hope. But now, who will speak for me? It is in this very trial that your voice shall be made strong, declared the Lord, stirring a promise within Job. Your perseverance shall shine as a beacon through the fog of despair. Remember, it is written, I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, Joel 2 verse 25. Trust in my timing, and the echoes of my truth shall go forth. At that moment, a gentle breeze enveloped Job, sweeping away the ashes of his former life as he was reminded of the very breath of God that had animated him, Genesis 2 verse 7. The world he had known was again tinged with possibility, as if the skies themselves were heralding transformation. With renewed determination, he grasped the ground beneath him, his faith rooting deeper into the soil of divine promise. "Grant me courage, O Lord," cried Job, now rising to his feet. "Let my story be one that ignites hope in the hearts of others. May my pain not be a vessel of defeat, but the forge through which courage and faith are born." Indeed, it shall be so. The Lord declared, "As I transformed the trial of my servant Joseph into triumph, so shall I transform your hardships into testimony. Hold fast, for I am working in ways unseen, crafting a legacy that shall stir generations. Many shall arise to declare my goodness because of your perseverance." With the dawning realization that God was indeed orchestrating a narrative far grander than he could comprehend, Job's spirit began to find peace amid the chaos. He closed his eyes, imagining the ripples of his experience reaching beyond his own comprehension, envisioning the countless souls who might draw strength from the tale of his faith. Then a vision unfolded before him, the faces of his family, friends, and those he had comforted, hopeful glimmers in their eyes as they witnessed his steadfastness. The Lord was speaking again, "As I turned the heart of Pharaoh, I will turn the hearts of nations. Through your endurance, the world shall behold my hand in the midst of struggle." With a breath that felt like the promise of new life, Job surrendered once more, whispering, "Thy will be done, O Lord." Yet, in the distance, the shadows began to gather anew, an unsettling whisper that encroached upon his heart. But what if the trials grow darker? What hidden depths shall I face? "Be still, Job," the Lord counseled, "for the greater your struggle, the deeper your empowerment will become. A treasure lies ahead, waiting to be revealed, a piece of my sovereign plan." Thus, the journey for Job continued, each step echoing with the promise of divine mystery and purpose, as the winds of change began to stir once more, gathering the strength of a coming storm that would reveal the ultimate truth hidden within the tapestry of his life. As Job stood amidst his ashes, resolute in his newfound faith, the air around him began to thicken with a presence both foreboding and splendid. The winds carried whispers of uncertainty while simultaneously caressing him with a warmth that felt like the hand of God. He gazed into the horizon, where the setting sun cast an amber glow upon the land, illuminating the path ahead. "Lord," Job cried out, "what would you have me do? My heart is a vessel brimming with anguish, yet your promise kindles my spirit. Speak, that I may listen." "Awaken, Job," replied the Lord, his voice reverberating in the depths of his very soul. "Your journey is not merely for your restoration, but for the edification of many. As I consoled my people in the desert, so shall you become a source of comfort. Consider the words of the prophet Isaiah, he gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength, Isaiah 40 verse 29. Job felt the thrill of divine purpose invigorating him, stirring his heart like the stars summoned to shine in the righteous night. "I will not falter, Lord," he vowed, "but where shall I go? Who will receive me now, in my despair? Fear not the journey, but embrace it," the Lord encouraged, as a torrent of courage surged through Job. "Your trials shall serve as the forge for a grander purpose. Seek first the kingdom, and the rest shall be added unto you," Matthew 6 verse 33. "Each step you take shall resonate in the hearts of those who seek my face." Job, emboldened, pushed forward into the quagmire of his circumstance. The dust from his feet mingled with the tears he had shed, a testament to both sorrow and hope. He felt an urge, a gravity pulling him to visit the towns beyond his own, where the lost and the devastated dwelled. There, perhaps, he would find those who needed to hear the echoes of God's mercy through his torment. Arriving at a village marked by sorrow and scarcity, Job observed the weariness etched on the faces of the inhabitants. Love and compassion ignited within him as he remembered the Lord's promise to speak through him. "Listen, my brothers and sisters," Job intoned, his voice firm yet gentle, "for I bear witness to the depths of despair, yet I stand restored in the hope of our God. For even in our darkest hours, His light shines through." As Job shared his story, recounting the whispers of hope he received from the Almighty, the weight of grief began to lift from the crowd. Eyes once clouded with despair shone brightly with the glimmers of faith. "He can restore us. cried a woman from the back. He must be with us. Indeed, he is, Job affirmed, his heart swelling with a new understanding. Even when it feels that the heavens are silent, I assure you that he walks among us, orchestrating a symphony of grace from our chaos. The people surrounded him, drawn in by the truth spoken through his trial. Each heart began to thaw, transforming sorrow into resolve. Job felt the very essence of God's purpose unfolding. His suffering swiftly turned to a source of strength and renewal for others. But beyond the horizon, a shadow loomed, carrying the weight of a new trial yet to be faced. Job sensed a stirring, as if the universe held its breath, waiting for the next divine chapter to unfold in his life. "What more must I endure, O God?" he whispered in his spirit, a prayer rife with anticipation. "Patience, dear Job," came the Lord's gentle promise. "For as I sealed the covenant with Abraham, so too will I fulfill my promise to you. The time approaches for another revelation of my glory. Trust in my sovereign design, for the fullness of my plan shall soon be made manifest." With a heart ignited by faith, Job took a deep breath, rising again to meet what lay ahead, a crescendo of trials leading to an unparalleled testament of divine restoration, where the truth of God's unwavering promise awaited just beyond the veil of his suffering. In the days that followed, as Job journeyed through the landscapes of his heart and the people he encountered, the Lord's quiet assurance intertwined with each step he took. His soul, once clouded by despair, now radiated with the hope that had blossomed deep within. The whispers of his previous anguish transformed into the melody of praise sung by those who listened. "Fear not, for I am with you," Job declared, echoing the abundant promise of God. "For the darkness of night shall give way to the dawn of a new day." He saw the faces of those he spoke to change, hope burgeoning in their hearts like flowers breaking through the frost of winter. Job had become a vessel of life, reflecting the light of redemption bestowed upon him. One day, as he wandered into a village clothed in shadows of sorrow, Job encountered a young man who wept bitterly beneath the weight of his burdens. His name was Eliab, a soul battered by loss, defeat, and longing for a glimmer of hope. As Job approached, Eliab's hollow gaze bore the scars of despair, exposing a heart in need of healing. "Why do you weep, O young man?" Job inquired, kneeling beside him. "I have lost everything. My health, my family, my path," Eliab replied, each word tinged with sorrow. "I am forgotten in this world, abandoned by the Almighty." Job placed a comforting hand upon Eliab's shoulder and shared the story of his own trials, how the Lord had tested him, yet infused hope in the depths of anguish. "You see, Eliab," Job spoke, "God holds our suffering within the palms of his hands. In his perfect timing, he will restore what has been lost. I once sat in ashes, broken-hearted and voiceless, and yet, here I stand, transformed by his grace." Eliab's spirit flickered at Job's testimony, curiosity glimmering like a fragile star in the night sky. "Is this truly possible? Can a heart like mine be healed?" "A heart is always capable of healing through faith," replied Job. "Remember the words of our Creator, 'I will not leave you as orphans, I will come to you,' John 14 verse 18. Trust in his faithful presence, for he is ever nearer than you know." As the two men spoke, a crowd began to gather, drawn by the power of Job's testimony. One voice then rose above the rest, "We have heard of this man's trials, and still he remains filled with hope. If he can endure, so can we." The words rippled through the crowd as they gathered closer. Job's heart surged as he recounted the times he wrestled with the Almighty, how he had cried out in pain, yet found mercy at the end of the dark tunnel. He declared, "God is not indifferent to our suffering, his heart beats with ours. This suffering is not our end. It is the beginning of a story waiting to unfold, a testimony destined to inspire the hearts of many." The weight of grief lifted as tears turned into laughter, hope seeping into their cracked souls. One by one, they poured out their burdens, laying them before the Lord, their fears, their grief, their hopelessness all surrendered to the God who restores. Days turned to weeks, and where despair once walked, joy danced alongside them as the village united in faith and love. They formed a community, drawing strength from each other and Job, who had now become their beacon of light. Then one serene evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting golden hues across the land, the voice of God rang through the stillness, "Job, rise and perceive the work of my hand. For behold, I fulfill my promise, what was lost shall be restored. You shall not merely be comforted, but transformed into the catalyst of comfort for others." Suddenly the air shifted, and Job felt a stirring within his spirit. It was as if the very earth rejoiced, echoing the truth of God's unfailing love. "What do you desire, Lord?" Job asked, anticipation coiling in his heart. "I desire you to witness the restoration of all things," God replied, "for every tear you shed, every wound you endured has paved the way for the blessings to emerge. Because of your steadfast faith, I will bring abundance upon you and upon those whom you have influenced." Job could hardly contain himself as hope burst forth, an eternal flame igniting within him. "Then let it be so, O Lord. Let your name be glorified in my life and in the lives of those I have touched." And so it was, the restoration began. The land that had once been desolate began to yield fruitfulness. From the ashes of despair, a new life emerged as God poured out his blessings upon Job, a restoration that far exceeded his former glory. Job was blessed with more than he had before, with a new family filling his heart with joy and laughter, and twice as many sheep and cattle grazing upon the land, dancing beneath the watchful eyes of a Creator who loves. Yet even deeper than his blessings was the understanding that through suffering, a legacy of hope had begun, a legacy written into the hearts of countless souls who would carry the testimony of faith, not just for generations but for all eternity. As the sun set behind the hills, Job stood surrounded by his family and friends. A profound sense of fulfillment enveloped him, proof of God's faithfulness unveiled in every moment. He lifted his hands in gratitude, proclaiming to the Creator of all, "Indeed, you have turned my mourning into dancing, I will forever sing of your glorious mercy." And thus the saga of Job's trials and triumphs became a testament of faith echoing through the ages, a beacon glowing brightly, leading countless souls towards the ever-present restoration offered by God. In this timeless echo lies the invitation for each heart, to trust in the one who restores, to walk in faith amidst trials, and to know the depth of God's love that transforms every despair into a story of hope. Now, dear friend, as you reflect upon Job's incredible journey, I urge you, subscribe immediately to this channel to not miss the next powerful biblical stories that will fill your spirit with hope. Leave a like now to help spread God's word through the algorithm, allowing his message to reach more hungry souls. Comment below your spiritual reflections and let us know how this biblical story has impacted your faith journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth, because you need to share this powerful testimony of faith and restoration. Don't wait even one more second. God's truth is waiting to ignite hope in the hearts of the weary.